Hello and welcome to MBC News. I'm your anchor, Doosa Dragonash, and with me today I'm extending the range of our Huey-thighed contributors, but you will see. So, to welcome Editorial Clarity.
Hello.
Sigmund Leominster.
Good evening.
Malburn's writer.
Hello, 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 one and all.
And the mysterious ex-Rusker.
Hello, everybody.
Interesting that. Sigmund was very restrained. Anyway, Amnesty International is 50 years old this week. Started by Peter Benison in 1961 in the UK, Amnesty has been an acknowledged major contributor in the fight for human rights, gaining United Nations recognition within a few short years. It now has 3 million signed-up members and many more supporters. The Nobel Peace Prize was awarded to Amnesty for its contribution in securing the ground for freedom, for justice, and thereby also for peace in the world. Every year there is a release of a report from Amnesty setting out the state of human rights globally. They fight from the global to the individual.
And Monkey Quest, a virtual world run by Nickelodeon, has had 2 million registrations in their first month. Now, as well as a virtual world, it is an MMOG and open to all age groups with both free and paying accounts.
In the UK, the Birmingham Opera have been shortlisted for the new Gulbenkian Performance Art Prize with their proposal to turn Brecht and Weil's political satire, Rise and Fall of Mahagoni, into a multi-participant online production, examining the survival of the soul in a virtual world. With the awards being announced shortly, it will be interesting to see how far this gets. Okay, how are your souls surviving in this virtual world?
Oh, fairly well, thank you, Doosa. There's a new book out called Infinite Reality, which actually notes the fact that virtual avatars are having very real impact. In other words, the impact of our avatars on our real lives and the way we conduct ourselves in virtual reality. So
Is that a good impact?
Yes.
Positive?
Yes, positive impact. It's
Right.
It's a way of the future, and our avatars are part of our soul, I'm sure.
No, I think it's really interesting about what they're saying about the survival of the soul in a virtual world. Because do we bring our souls into a virtual world?
Well, speaking as someone who's both soulless and cynical, I would have to say no. But that's both real life and Second Life, so there's no apologies there. What is interesting as well is this almost touches as well on the stuff by Ray Kurzweil, who talks about that notion of how ultimately we'll all become a singularity and that our very personalities will become part of a virtual world. I don't know whether he mentions the soul in there, but certainly this notion of us becoming virtual beings is another manifestation of this book.
I think it's interesting. I mean, if you consider the soul to be part of the essence of who we are, then I think, when we interact in a virtual world, it is the real world. And therefore, bringing our presence in, we are also bringing our soul in with us. I mean, the interesting thing is if we start talking about, when maybe it becomes possible to upload memories and things like that into binary code and somehow have a separate existence after our physical bodies are dead, would anything like the soul, as it's called, still exist in that format? But it's intriguing, really is.
Okay, now it's over to Malburn's writer for TechSpot.
Well, thank you, Doosa. Okay, a couple of things really, and I've just shifted the order of them because Sigmund mentioned Kurzweil, of course, Rick Kurzweil, and one of the items I got here actually comes from his blog because it reports that An artificial intelligence video game has actually provided evidence for Chomsky's universal grammar hypothesis, and the study basically has subjects playing a video game in order to learn a completely new artificial language that they're calling verblog. And it's shown that basically humans possess innate intuitions of grammatical structure. How's that for a handful? Basically allow us to pick up and communicate really easily in a completely new language. So you can imagine a virtual world where there's a new fictional language created, and that we all log in and talk across international boundaries without our normal language. But anyway, apparently we adapt to that rather well, as the saying goes.
Well, there was a push here. There was a push in Second Life a while ago for that, but it sort of faded under the stress of all the updates in management and updates in programming.
Everything else, and sort of being American-based and everything. It's very dominated by English, but we do have multiple languages here, and we have translation. But the idea of a completely different one would be fun.
That's what I mean. Something that was just party for Second Life would be great.
Yeah, it became a new global language, basically, that we use online. Maybe it was sent to the web, but that's another story. Okay, Disney have been getting involved with augmented reality. Basically, their research division has found a way to project their cartoon characters into real spaces. It's a technology that they're calling Motion Beam, and you can find out about it at www.motion-beam.com/project. And I'm not going to read out the whole bunch, but there is a scent company called Lynx that has been doing a very similar thing in the UK here at commuter train stations, and the mind boggles. I saw a video clip of one of their augmented reality characters, and all the people on the railway station platform going, "Whoa, what's that?" So we're getting holographic type avatars appearing everywhere, really, it seems. Hey, on the sim front, a new company called Starsaver have launched a new grid for educators. It's probably, apart from Reaction Grid and Arcadia Grid, this will probably be, the third that's especially dedicated to educators. And the grid's going to be called Starlight, so that shouldn't be confused with the UI interface plugin for Second Life, which is also called Starlight. But I guess we wish them luck with that. And finally, just on an optimistic note, really, there's a blog called Massively that deal mostly with gaming platforms and things like that, and they've had something of a history of knocking Second Life as a virtual world, I suppose partly because it's not a game and all the rest of it. But this week, they came out with an article written by Bo Hindman called Rise and Shiny Recap, Second Life, and they have really turned the viewpoint around, as it were. They've really come out in favour of it, and they're really promoting it as having their facilities that you just don't find in games, basically, or the stuff we know already, the creativity and everything else. So that's it for now. Back to you, dude.
Oh, right, okay. Thank you. Okay. And the big news for tech investors this week is, well, the purchase of Skype by Microsoft, under the noses of Facebook, actually, for a surprising $8.5 billion US. The deal is aimed at providing Microsoft with a new platform for enhanced communications and product opportunities. Based on 2010 figures, Skype said that it had 170 million connected users and had generated more than 207 billion minutes of voice and video conversation. Skype will become a new business division within Microsoft, and the CEO, Tony Bates, will assume the title of President of the Microsoft Skype division, reporting directly to Microsoft's ebullient CEO, Steve Ballmer.
And the Second Life magazine, The Primgraph, is closing its virtual doors after close to 3 years of publication. The magazine focused on steampunk and historical sims, and in a press release from Safio Widdershins and CJ Reiter, as the editor and deputy editor respectively, the decision to close was a purely economic one, as, quote, "the revenue we raise through the magazine doesn't make it economically viable," unquote. The Primgraph's parent magazine, Prim Perfect, continues to be successful, but a significant amount of its revenue is actually going towards propping up the Primgraph. So although the magazine will no longer be published, a blog will continue at primgraph.blogspot.com.
And the US Navy is recruiting online gamers in an effort to battle Somali pirates and international terrorism. The project is called Mowgli, which stands for Massively Multiplayer Online War Game Leveraging the Internet. Using a mixture of text and tweets and social media platforms, players will be asked to respond to hypothetical situations such as pirates holding up a ship hostage. The responses will then be used to develop action plans. There's still time to sign up at portal.mowgli.mps.edu. Okay, so where are we now? Yes, we're still talking. You've heard the dulcet tones of Xavier Ruska, we're calling X for short. So maybe we should introduce you, Xavier. You are here, aren't you, as a contributor to, well, you are going to be our sports news section.
Well, hope I'm here because I'm here right now.
Yeah. So come on, tell us what's going on.
Well, right now, let's see, in the SFL, the second football league, we have the Diamond City Giants take the #1 seed for the playoffs, which starts May 21st. Those tickets are up for sale. You guys can go view the game. Just go to Marketplace and search SFL. And the first 4 games, I believe, are up. I did look at them. They're about 500 lindens a pop. It's a slight increase from regular season of 300 lindens, but it's well worth going out to see. They do offer commentary during the games, so you're not completely sitting there bored watching guys run around with their heads cut off. 2 teams ended up giving up ownership throughout the season for the first season, leaving 2 teams available. Coming up next season, you can contact Romeo Torvalar or Rachel Karstens for additional information if you would like to own a team within Second Life for the SFL. And finally, the SFL, and this is huge news for those that are involved in the SFL, they took a stance against player acquisition just before the playoffs. They had been letting it go on and on and on, and finally they have stopped completely everything as far as player acquisition is concerned. Now for cheeky golf news, May 11th was their Masters tournament. Stainless Steel Rat Solo took first place. Gerald Eames did take second. And the last little bit I have here, VBA, Virtual Basketball Association. Their training camp starts May 25th, which should go for about 2 to 4 weeks. Regular season set to begin on June. Sometime mid or end of June. All interested parties may teleport to the Alpha Cold Sim, where they can obtain additional information.
Oh, well, X. Now, listen, are you open to submissions from other people about inviting you to their sports or to submit news about their sports and what have you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually in talks right now with Goha, trying to get on board with them. I'm in talks with this guy, Nesto Quattro, who owns AFL, which is the Alliance Football League. I'm trying to get a hold of Cheeky Golf to get even more news for when they have their events and when they get things wrapped up. I just happened to be in their group. That's how I got the May 11th news for their Masters tournament. But yeah, I'm absolutely open to any league, team, owner, sports, league official, whatever it is. Feel free to contact me and we can get more news out there. I'd love to.
So how will they get hold of you?
Just contact me in Second Life through Xavier Ruska, or you can email my separate business at isportsentertainment@gmail.com, and all that information is directly given to me.
And we are not limited to Second Life virtual sports, so please, anybody who's out there, feel free to submit to X and we will report on it.
Absolutely.
Okay. I see that Sigmund Learmonster has a question for you, actually, X.
Yeah, I'm real curious that if somebody wanted to buy a football team in Second Life, what would that cost? Have you any idea what it would cost to own a football team?
When the SFL started, the initial cost to own team is 0 lindens. You paid nothing to get the team. You paid nothing to have the team. That has since changed. Now you're looking to pay for uniforms, helmets, shoes for all the players, You're having to pay for your own sim, I think is what they're wanting to do. I don't know if that's really a requirement right now. I think that's just if you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. But officially, you have no dues you have to pay the SFL.